Hello and welcome to the Fly Kingfisher Winning Post. I'm Mohit Lalvani and this is the show that brings you all the horse racing action from India and the rest of the world. Well, as the season starts to wind down, the winter starts to come to an end, we climax our horse racing season with the Invitation Trophy.
The Indian Turf Invitation Weekend is the championship weekend of Indian horse racing. The two-day event is punctuated with 4 Grade 1 races over 4 different distances, and the Invitation Cup itself means a lot to the racing community. After all, it is a renewal of the Indian Derby. The weekend rotates between the major racing centres in India, as does the Breeders' Cup, and this year saw Bangalore play host to the racing extravaganza. Bangalore, however, has had its share of issues, and one of these was an ongoing sizes agitation. This had hit the summer season hard, and the top brass at the Bangalore Turf Club were doing everything to ensure they had the situation in hand.
There was a problem earlier, and it has been sorted out with our strong committee, with the chairman, and we personally involved ourselves, and we made it sure that this invitation must go on date. And this committee has worked hard, and we thankful to almost all the teamwork which is done by Owners Association and the Trainers Association. And in the Horse Association, 2 of our horse owners, they got injured also.
We came with an agreement on 14. They signed with white sheet paper and whatever the mutual understanding has done. Next day it was MOU agreement, front of police officials and BTC trainers, owners, they were present. Suddenly sizes came with those leaders came with a new liar. I told sizes, please sizes, you people are misguided from those leaders, please don't listen to them. Because big event is coming, please try to understand this is a prestige question for our Karnataka. Within a fraction of a second, the crowd was too much and they started abusing the words and started hitting, and suddenly I saw nobody was there, and I and my Gopi myself get caught along with those sizes. I have had a lot of beating.
To the great relief of all racing patrons in India, the Bangalore Turf Club was able to deliver, and the weekend went off like clockwork. The first of the main races was the Group 1 Oasis Star Sprinters Cup over 1200 meters. This race was sponsored by Manjari Stud and named after their greatest sprinter, Oasis Star, who many believe was the greatest sprinter in the history of Indian racing. The field was a large one and included India's fastest thoroughbreds. Pacey Shroff from Western India always has had a strong hand in graded races, and he saddled last year's winner Attila and the talented filly Bespoke. Also from Western India was Ancient Wonder, who was not just quick but was endowed with endurance as well. Representing Bangalore was Prince Star from Satish Naredu's yard and Successor from Neil Dara Shah's stable. Dandified from Kolkata was a highly thought of horse and was amongst the last to be stalled before the starter set them away.
They're off and racing for the Grade 1, the Oasis Star Sprinters Cup. Losing about a couple of lengths at the start is Optimus Prime. And as they settle down to race, they're going at a cracking pace there with Attila towards the near side, now being passed on the outside by Winzamana. Beautiful Stranger coming up nicely from the outside draw to be well in touch with the leader. A length for the back, there is Forest Flame in the middle. On the outside, there's Kohinoor Wish with Successor towards the inside rails. Or on the outside, there is Secret Punch. Then comes Rare and Precious. On the rails, there's Ancient Warrior. A length and a half to 2 lengths for the back. There comes Bespoke. Then there is Dandified. A length for the back. On the outside of Dandified, the Silken Touch. Between them is Hurricane Bay. Then comes Optimus Prime and Wallahak in the rear as they begin to negotiate the home turn and straighten up for home. Into the straights, Winzamana brings them home from Beautiful Stranger, now stretching ahead. A length and a quarter in front of Attila, biting on him. Towards the inside rails, there's Successor. Then comes Prince Star, also being prominent on the outside. After that, there's Rise and Pressures, and the Forest Flare has got a lot of running to do with about 250 meters more to run. Attila grabs the initiative just a shade ahead of Beautiful Stranger. Successor's moving between them. Then comes Sprint Star on the outside with about 100 to go. Attila is now being pressed by Successor and Sprint Star, but Attila wins the Sprinters Cup.
Attila, in a sense, defended his title successfully and galloped on strongly under champion jockey Prakash to hold off Sprint Star and Successor. Attila is a son of China visit.
He's really surprised me. Old man has still got nerves to fight.
Obviously, and he's got speed to match it.
Well, he always had that speed, but lately he was not in form, and he got the form at the right time.
Hard fought race, is a really good race.
Attila is a horse with a really big heart, and Prakash has ridden him wonderfully. My staff have really worked hard to keep him going. He's an older horse, as you know. He won the Sprinters Cup last year as well.
I'm thrilled. Let me tell you that as I feel that they're my children, so I'm really thrilled. Well, Attila is a very big-hearted horse. You know, for somebody to do that for the second time in a row, in the manner and fashion that he's done it in, wow. I thought, you know, he might be slightly jaded, but what a heart this horse has.
Because of Attila, we are called lucky at the racecourse because the moment we took a share in it, within 15 days it won the Sprinters Cup and again this year. And all thanks to Pacey and Prakash rode a perfect race.
He really doesn't have to, but only thing is that there are not many Group 1 races where he on even weights because being a top weight, very difficult for him.
Kishore Dhingra, one of the 4 owners, was on hand to receive the trophy even as the horses entered the parade ring for the next feature race, the Stayers Cup. The Stayers Cup, over 3,000 metres, would test the horses for stamina, and the field included last year's winner Arabian Prince, who would don Dr. Vijay Mallya's colours. While he did seem to be the horse to beat on paper, the Hyderabad challenger from Shehzad Abbas's stable Swiss Dawn had plenty of pre-race buzz around her by virtue of her classic performances in Hyderabad. Chetak Horse Racing, which part owned Attila, were looking for a Grade 1 double with their Bombay-based galloper Native Knight, who would be saddled by Narendra Lagan. With a grueling trip ahead of them, the starter set of the 11 runners, even as one was withdrawn at the start.
They're off and racing for the Stayers Cup Grade 1 2012. And as they settle down to race, there's a rush for the early lead with Camorra in the middle, just a shade ahead of Machu Picchu. On the outside, Don Valentino making good progress to take over. Don Valentino about neck in front of Camorra in second position. Machu Picchu has settled into third. A length and a quarter further back there's Star Marquis in fourth position. Then comes Alavit towards the inside rails, nearness of view on the outside. A length and a half further back there's Arabian Prince along with Sun Elegance on the inside. 2 lengths further back there's Ordained One. Then comes Malabar Prince. Another 2 lengths further back there's Swiss Dawn. Second last of all is Native Knight as they spring into the straight for the first time. And as they gallop past the 1200 meter marker now, it's Don Valentino, just a shade of Machu Picchu showing some aggression. On the outside there is Alavit also making good progress, between them Star Marquis. A length and a half further back there's Arabian Prince also getting battle ready. On the outside there, but off the bridle is Nearness of You. Then comes Ordained One. Swiss Dawn making quick progress towards the inside rails. After that there is Camorra, who's dropped slightly back as they begin to negotiate the home turn. Alouette takes charge. A length and a quarter in front of Arabian Prince on the outside. In the middle there is Star Marquis. Machu Picchu is towards the inside rails. Then comes Swiss Dawn, Native Knight, Camorra towards the inside rails, and Ordained One on the wide outside. Sun Elegance is the widest one of all with about 400 meters more to run, and it's Alouette. Another stick is about a length in front of Swiss Dawn coming up on the outside, and these two are about 2 lengths in front of Arabian Prince and Native Knight, now showing some progress on the outside. 200 meters more to run. Swiss Dawn from Alouette. These two are fighting it out. It's Swiss Dawn from Alouette. Native Knight joining these two. It's Swiss Dawn from Alouette and Native Knight. Swiss Dawn from Alouette and Native Knight coming up fast on the outside. It's Swiss Dawn from Native Knight. Swiss Dawn just about holds on from Native Knight. Then comes Alouette.
Swiss Dawn gave Hyderabad a big victory and was perfectly ridden by A. Imran Khan. The daughter of Don Micheletto ran in the silks of Dr. Mustafa Alam Khan, who won his first graded race.
Finally, I made a big one today. It was a fight, but I got a very lucky opening around the 800. If I didn't get through there, I was bad. I was in trouble. I can feel it. I can feel my heart as well. He's a sweetheart.
I was on the 7th sky. I don't know. A kind of feeling I just can't explain it to you. Because this is the first Classic I ever won in my life. Great. Because this is my second year in racing. Okay. And this is the first Classic I won.
Well, and championship performance there from Attila. Back-to-back Sprinters Cup winners. We'll take a short break. Come right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Fly Kingfisher Winning Post. Day 2 of the Invitation Cup weekend was about the big one, the Invitation Cup. But before that, we had the Major PK Mehra Memorial Super Mile.
The first day of the two-day invitation weekend had unfolded smoothly, and the managing committee of the Bangalore Turf Club had issued a strong statement to the striking workforce. Leading up to the race of ultimate glory was the PK Mehra Super Mile. Mumbai had a strong representation here, with Cardinal leading the Western India contingent. Cardinal, a universally accepted handsome colt, looked his best in the paddock. Alma Mater, the winner of the Indian 1000 guineas, was back to her optimum trip, the mile. She looked in the pink of condition, and the rest she'd had held her in good stead. Sprint Star had run a cracker in the Sprinters Cup a day earlier, but showed no signs of fatigue as he looked alert in the paddock and good for another go. Field Marshal was the prime fancy, and rightly so. His Indian Derby performance was noteworthy, and majority felt that he was the one to beat. Kohinoor Wish was keen to bring more cheer to the Hyderabad camp, and although he had not much to show for his effort the previous day, over a mile he could dig deeper. The horses left for the gates to earn the title of the best miler in the country.
2012 to a level start by all the 13. And as they settle down to race, it's Field Marshal towards the inside rails, now being passed on the outside by Dear Henry. Dear Henry settles to lead by about a length and a half in front of Field Marshal in second position. Very close behind them is Cardinal towards the inside rails on the outside, string along. A length and a quarter further back there's Kohinoor Wish, then comes Sprint Star on the outside. In the middle there is Maddox. Dandified is the widest one of all in the red cap. Towards the inside rails in the white cap there is Spearhead. A length further back there's Alma Mater in between. After that there is Practically Perfect, then there is Gracia Marquez, and in the rear there's Sprint Star. As they pass the 900 meter marker, Dear Henry is about a length in front of Field Marshal, joining him on the outside. 2 lengths further back there's Cardinal in third. After that there is String along with Aristos. A length and a half further back there's Maddox. Then comes Kohinoor Wish, Dandified on the outside. Spearhead towards the inside rails. Then comes Alma Mater, followed by Gracia Marquez, Sprint Star, and Practically Perfect has dropped the rider. And as they begin to negotiate the home turn and straighten up for home, it's Dear Henry who comes in home first, now being passed by Field Marshal, making his presence felt. 2 lengths further back, there's Cardinal eating up ground on the outside. Cardinal on the outside now stretches away. A length and a half in front of Field Marshal, struggling to keep up. Then comes Alma Mater, Aristos, Sprint Star towards the inside rails. On the outside there is Kohinoor Wish with about 200 meters more to run. Cardinal has stolen a march, is about 2.5 lengths in front of Field Marshal. Alma Mater and Sprint Star poking through in the middle, but it's Cardinal all the way. 4 lengths clear and going away. Cardinal wins this one from Alma Mater finishing up second. Then there is Sprint Star, Kohinoor Wish as the race past the finish.
Cardinal and Prakash were the toast of the turf. Cardinal was amply supported, and the decibels soared as he built on his lead and emerged clear of competition. He was up with the early pace and shot ahead cleanly to stamp his class in a convincing manner.
Well, he stayed the 2000 meters well, so mile wouldn't have been a problem for him to, take on the hot pace. Okay. So I set up with the pace and allowed him to run freely into the straight.
Well, we thought he was moving very well at the bend coming up the hill, and once he straightened out, I think he just took it over and won quite easily, I thought.
He was at good odds, considering that he had beaten Field Marshal.
It's always fortunate to have horses capable of running in these races, and really I'm really blessed to have the kind of horses that I do.
The presentation ceremony was a ladies' affair, with Miss Amita Mehra presenting the trophy to Mrs. Shirke and Mrs. Dhanji. The men were not too far, watching the wives bask in genuine glory. The shouting never mellowed, the rasp in the air was omnipresent. One just realized that the stars for the Invitation Cup were already in the paddock. A hush of admiration escaped the crowds, as in the spotlight attracted most of the attention. She walked in majestically and appeared calm as usual. There was no sign of any travel fatigue, and she was the one to have travelled the most all around the country within a short span of time. Smashing was next to rake in the eyeballs. She looked composed, and the shine on her coat was impressive. She looked as good as she had ever been. Southern Bay was the only one in the field who had beaten in the spotlight on the turf, but that was before she began her winning streak.
They're often racing and struggling to get a straight start. There is Surya Lakshmi. And as they settle down to race, it's Southern Bay who hits the front from in the spotlight, quickly moving into second position. A length and a half further back there is Smashing on the outside in the red cap. Towards the inside rails is Pronto Pronto. A length and a half further back there is Ridgeway on the outside. And then comes Toro Loco. Very close behind them is Golden Rule. Then comes Forever Glory. And joining the pack now is Surya Lakshmi. They're passing the grandstands for the first time now, with Southern Bay calling the shots just about a length in front of the favourite in the spotlight in second position. 2 lengths further back there, Smashing. Then comes Pronto Pronto. A gap about 2.5 lengths further back there is Toro Loco. Another 2 lengths away comes Ridgeway. Then comes Golden Rule. A length and a half further back there is Forever Glory. And 3 lengths behind tailing the field is Surya Lakshmi. As they spring away from us and get into the backstretch now past the mile marker, and it's Southern Bay still calling the shots, a length and a quarter in front of in the spotlight, showing some speed to get alongside. A length and a half, 2 further back there is Smashing. A gap about 4 lengths further back there's Pronto towards the inside rails, or on the outside in the green colours there is Toro Loco. After that there comes the Golden Rule, very close behind is Ridgeway. Then comes Forever Glory, and Surya Lakshmi still tilling the field. They're approaching the 1,200 meter marker now, and in the spotlight now takes up the running. A length and a quarter in front of Southern Base, dropped to the second. 2 lengths further back there, Smashing remains in third. Then comes Pronto and Toro Loco together. A gap about a length further back there is Golden Rule on the outside. Towards the rails there is Ridgeway. A gap about a length and a half further back there comes Forever Glory, and Surya Lakshmi still in the rear as they come past the 800 meter marker. In the spotlight, increasing the pace now, is about 2 1/4 in front of Southern Bay, getting a little bit closer. A gap about 2.5 lengths further back there, Smashing. Then comes Toro Loco is off the bridle. Pronto on the inside rails. Then comes Golden Rule, Ridgeway, and the rest as they straighten up for home. A little over 400 to go for the Turf Invitation Cup 2012. In the spotlight, calling the shots. A length in front of Southern Bay, putting up a challenge on the outside. Not far behind comes Smashing. Then comes Toro Loco and Pronto under the stick with about 250 meters more to run. In the spotlight is still about 2 lengths in front of Smashing, putting up a challenge on the inside rails. Southern Bay on the outside, but in the spotlight is not going to be caught. In the spotlight is a living legend here. In the spotlight wins the Invitation Cup in great style from Smashing, finishing up second. Then comes Southern Bay as they race past the finish.
In the spotlight was indeed incredible. She raced up front, and once she decided to call the shots, there were none to question her authority. Southern Bay did provide a brief tussle but fell back. Smashing made up some deficit and could only gain against the margin in Mumbai. In the spotlight, steered clear and won fluently. She looked the winner early, etching out her place among the all-time greats in the annals of Indian racing. She has beaten every rival in the land and is the most worthy one to take on competition of shores.
It's just great to finish the season winning the Invitation Cup. She's a tremendous filly. She felt a little tired today, but she was still too good. If she'd have been at her best, she'd have won 20 lengths.
This is probably the best horse I've ever trained. I don't think any other horse has travelled 7,242 kilometers to come out and win races everywhere. She's like Alexander the Great, a lady version of Alexander. She went, saw and conquered. This is an amazing filly. She's Destiny's own child. She could have died 2 years ago. The vets did a great job. Hasnain and the vets in Bangalore Turf Club. As usual, I was holidaying in France and my wife was looking after her. And every half an hour I was getting a status report as to how bad she is. She was going to be operated. Just before that, she miraculously recovered. And from then on, her journey has been prodigal. She's been traveling to places, setting her own goalposts and achieving them. And we hope that sometime in near future she'll go abroad and win a race.
She had such bad colic, and and my husband was away, as I had told you earlier. He was away in France, and I was left holding the baby. And for me, it was like one hell of a responsibility which I've never had to bear. I think she's a one-time great. I mean, not because she's trained by my husband. She definitely is a one-time great. Nobody has done this. Traveled so many kilometers right the way around India, and each time winning with confidence. She's a great horse, and we are very lucky we had a horse like her.
Captain Jamshed Appu was a picture of pride and delight. He was overwhelmed with the joy that his filly in the spotlight had provided. winning every major race at every centre that she was assigned to compete.
We were worried because of the heat, because she's always raced in cool climate. And she came just 10 days before the race, so it took a little time to climatize. She was a little dull first 2 days, but when she worked on Friday, Martin said she won't lose. Maybe she'll win by 2 or 3 lengths, but she won't lose. Martin feels she'll win a Group 3 or Group 2 easy in England or Ireland. So let's see with all the formalities how it goes with the quarantine and all. We'll try to send her to England.
The chairman of the various turf clubs assembled on the podium, and Captain Jamshed Appu along with his son Cyrus received the trophy amidst loud cheer. The crowd was generous in applauding the feat as trainer Padmanabhan and jockey Martin Dwyer stepped onto the podium to receive their trophies.
Now the big debate about In the Spotlight, will she target an international campaign? Will she stay in India? We'll keep you updated with all the news right here on the Fly Kingfisher Winning Post. We take a short break from now and come back and look ahead to the weekend of racing in Bombay. It's a big one. 3 big races. We'll catch that for you when we come back. Welcome back to the Fly Kingfisher Winning Post. Now 3 big races for us this weekend over in Mumbai. Our biggest is the Grade 2 CN Wadia Gold Cup.
The feature race this weekend in India is in Mumbai, and the focus is on the country's highest thoroughbred purchase, Hills and Stars. The daughter of Razin was bought in part by billionaire philanthropist Dr. Cyrus Poonawalla for over ₹1 crore weeks before the McDowell Signature Premier Indian Derby. After a rather indifferent performance then, all will be looking to see if this purchase will in fact pay off. Going into her race this weekend, Hills and Stars pleased in the morning trials as she galloped with David Allen on top over 6 furlongs, taking 1 minute and 23 seconds. She warmed up nicely and eased into a rhythm, taking 40 seconds for the last 600 without dropping sweat. Berlusconi with Malcolm and Onassis with Prakash matched strides and moved well doing so. Both moved neck and neck, with Berlusconi just managing to crane his head in front. They clocked 40 seconds for the last 600 meters. The two on your screens now are Scarlett Pimpernel with Trevor on top and Cochinella with Malcolm Corradi. Both moved fluently and looked in good shape while taking 37 seconds for the last 600 meters. Haunting Fantasy had Kavraj Singh on top. He got the treatment, being urged as he galloped on to stop the clock at 39 seconds for the last 600 meters. You're looking at the morning work of Forest Legend. Forest Legend had DS Rathore in the saddle, was urged a bit while going at a decent clip and took 39 seconds for the last 600. Spirit of Mercy dished out nice work with T.S. Jodha in the saddle. She moved attractively and was easing up, clocking 38 seconds for the last 600. She sure is maintaining a winning form. The highlight of this Sunday card is the Group 2 CN Wadia Gold Cup, one of the favourite races sponsored by the Wadia Group. Less than a dozen are expected to take the start, and all eyes will be on Hills and Stars. The Western India Racehorse Owners Association Million is an ideal supporting event for the Wadia Gold Cup. This 7-furlong race is tightly contested. However, Star Trainer is the one to watch out for. Star Trainer has been running forward races with some top-class horses for company, and if he does what he's done so far, he would be a tough nut to crack.
Well, and that's all we have on this episode of the Fly Kingfisher Winning Post. We'll be back next week with plenty more. Thanks for joining me. I'm Mohit Lalvani saying goodbye, and as always, may the horse be with you.
Fly Kingfisher Winning Post is powered by the Serum Institute of India and Hidco Industries.